Hey pretty, today I'm going to show you how I do the one beat method with short nails.
Trapping like the narco. Got dope like Pablo. Cut dope like Pablo. Chop trees with the Draco. On the north got Diego.
As long as you're able to pick up a bead as big as the nail that you're working with, you are able to achieve the one beat method. So I'm going to show you first I don't want to say the wrong way to do this, but do you see how it's dripping? Do you see how the acrylic is just running off the nail? Well, that's because I picked up a bead of acrylic and I placed it directly on the nail. So this is what I would consider to be the maybe not so good way to do the one bead method, but it can still be achieved if you add another bead on top, which I did, but I will show you that I added another one to build thickness to the nail. So you can do that way, but that's not technically one bead, right? So I'm also going to show you with the thumb. The thumbs, I always add a second bead to, regardless, like unless it was way too thick, I add a second bead to the thumbs always because we use those to pick up things. So you don't want your thumbs to break in any way. You want to make sure that those thumbs have like a nice structure. So I'm going to still show the one bead method, but this time I'm placing the bead after holding the bead for a few seconds, maybe 3 seconds. And you can still see that the acrylic is still a bit watery. It's still a bit runny, but it's not as runny as the first finger I showed you. Pretty much the trick to the one bead method is your liquid to powder ratio, one, but also if you're not focused too much on the liquid to powder ratio, what you can do is hold the acrylic on your brush for a few more seconds. So let's say I held this bead for about 3 seconds. You'll see in a minute that holding the bead longer on the brush until it's completely wet on your brush will allow you to mold the acrylic, and that's what you want. So now I'm going to show you the proper way, and this is with holding the acrylic on your brush for about 5 to 10 seconds. You will notice that the acrylic does not move as much. I don't have to play around with the acrylic as much. I don't have to chase it. I don't have to do anything. The longer you hold the acrylic on the brush, you don't have to do any work. You see how easy that was? And the nail is as thick as it needs to be the first time. So that's the idea of the one bead method. Sorry I couldn't show you me picking up the acrylic and everything. I'm still working on these recording angles, okay? But I'm going to show you again. Notice how the bead doesn't go anywhere. I'm just pushing the acrylic right up into the cuticle area. You just want to make sure it's all the way up in there. Like tuck it up in there. And then you just pat all the way down the nail and make sure that it fits sidewall to sidewall. And then you can slowly bring it down and you just, tap off that free edge, tap off that rest of that acrylic, and the nail is perfect. This again is for short nails. You can also do this method with longer nails, but I wouldn't suggest it because longer nails might need a little more building. Okay, short nails do not have to be as thick. I do not know what size this brush is. It's either a 10 or a 12, definitely. It's from Alpha Oval. It's an Alpha Oval Kolinsky brush that I customized. So I like my brush to be a flat brush. It came as a rounded brush, so it had a little pointed tip. But having your brush flat, it helps you a lot. It helps me to be able to push acrylic up into the cuticle area because it's pretty much the shape of a natural nail. So I do like customizing all of my brushes for real, but especially if it comes with a pointed tip, I do not prefer those brushes. So again, with the thumb, even though I'm still holding the acrylic on my brush for about 10 seconds so that I can mold the acrylic, I'm still going to add a second bead to the thumb. That's just a personal preference. You do not have to, but I do prefer to do that because our thumbs get used a lot and probably a lot more than you realize. Just to protect the client, I just always make sure I add a little bit more thickness to the thumb. I really like using this method because it allows for you to not have to do much filing at the end. When you use one bead of acrylic, there is like minimal chance for you to end up with lumpy acrylic. So I know how some sets, they can be lumpy and bumpy, and it's more so when you use multiple beads. Now I know that some people use the 3B method and 2B method and stuff like that, and that's fine as well, because you can still achieve a smooth application. But it's just something about that one bead, girl. It's something about that one bead. So now I'm just going to go in. This is the Pana. I talked about this one before, and I'm also going to link this bit down below. This is the Pana 5-in-1 bit. It rotates both ways. It's a carbide bit, but I like to use this one to get up into the cuticle area. These nails came out pretty smooth, and the application, especially around the cuticle area, because I pushed that acrylic up there, there's really not much filing that needs to be done. But even still, I always go back and blend the cuticle area just to avoid lifting. I want to make sure that there's absolutely no product or no acrylic left on the client's skin. This person in particular has really deep sidewalls. I don't know if you've ever gotten a person who has the cuticle area goes really deep. Well, what I do for that is I go over the cuticle area first with the drill bit. Then I go in with my 8080 grit hand file to get the shape that I want and just redefine that square shape. And then I also go back in with the cuticle bit, and I do it a second time because that's what helps me. I don't like to go too hard the first time. That's just a personal preference. Especially when the cuticle area is so deep. I do go over that process twice, and you'll see that in this video. So I'm going to just let you watch this process, and I'll be back with the finished results.
Yeah, bitch so bad I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you. Yeah, I want you, yeah, bad I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Yeah, don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you. Yeah, I want you, yeah, I wanna shoot. Girl, you too bad for me not to press you, yeah. Young fly nigga, I don't follow all these rules, yeah. Bitch, I'm making tunes, I ain't missing, I won't lose. Let's go to an island where the water around is blue. I got two bad bitches in the coupe. 42 in the bottle, glasses on full too. Ain't no games, I ain't playing, I want you, yeah. Take a trip, let's go shopping, I got blues, yeah. We got options you can choose. Yeah, you want it, I can buy it, ain't no rules, yeah. I'm just saying, let me help you upgrade you, yeah. Fuck that nigga, he don't care about you, yeah. Girl, move on. He can't treat you like I do, my money too long. I got homies for your friends and we can group on. We are early, hit our shot like Curry. Bitch, I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you. I want you, yeah, bad I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you. I want you, yeah, I wanna shoot, yeah. What's the move with you? Where you move it? I'm sticking like some glue with you. Got you doing all the things he never do with you. Got the smile and the vibe is something new with you. We could take a jet back, I done set back. Counting cash in the bumblebee, a yellow drop vid. I've been doing a lot of shit that they never tried yet. Have your ice real frozen, you might get frostbit, yeah. I just wanna do the dash. I'ma always put you first, never put you last. Way you shake that ass make me wanna throw some cash. Girl, you way too bad, throw that nigga in the trash. You know I'm gon' shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you. I want you, yeah, bad I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you. I want you,
till the night ends on an island. Yeah. It's about time we're making up. The times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you never said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just in love with you. So I come close, won't you? Won't you? Can I tell you something for what it's worth? We've been having this place on nothing. Take you there, I'll take you. Show you something, give you more than words. We've been having this place on nothing. Take you there, I'll take you there. Take you there, won't you? Fill me up till my cup's overflowing. I'm so anxious just to feel the silence. It's so quiet, but I hear you saying to me, baby. It's about time we're making up time. The times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you never said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just alone with you. So come close, won't you? Can I tell you something for what it's worth? We've been having it place on nothing. Take you there, I'll take you. Show you something, give you more than words. We've been having it place on nothing. Take you there, I'll take you there.
These nails are now buffed, washed, and wiped down with rubbing alcohol, and these are the finished results. She wanted a French tip design with neon colors, so that's what we did today. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you would wear something like this. and subscribe to my channel for more content. See y'all.
Capping like the narco. Got dope like Pablo. Cut throat like Pablo. Chop trees with the Draco.
She wanted a French tip type of nail with neon colors. Let me know in the comment section how you like these nails. Leave a like if you really enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.